Welcome back to the High School Sports Highlight Show, and this is the time of the week where we normally have our cheerleading squad of the week. And of course, your host for this segment of the show normally is Taylor, but like so many other people here in the Atlanta area, Taylor is homesick, and so her good friend Alex is filling in for her. Alex, thanks for being on the show with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we're glad to have you, and as I understand it, you're a former cheerleader yourself.
Yes, I am. I used to cheer for South Forsyth High School.
Great. So very fitting for us to have another cheerleader filling in for Taylor on the show tonight. And on this segment of the show each week, we normally have a different high school cheerleading squad on the show representing their school. The school that was scheduled for tonight is Eagles Landing High School, and they actually had open house the night of our taping tonight. And so their coach said there's no way we can be there tonight, and so we're actually going to reschedule for them so that they can be here on the show and representing their school on a different night. Later in the season, we'll double up, so one night we'll have two cheerleading squads on here during this segment of the show. But one of the things, Alex, that I'd like to do in this segment, since we have just a couple of minutes here, is let's talk about cheerleading. I know most of the time people think of cheerleaders and all they think about are, well, most of the time they think of the typical airheaded girl that's just out there jumping around and having fun. Cheerleading is a whole lot more to it than that, isn't there?
It's a whole lot more than that. Actually, a lot of people would say cheerleading isn't a sport, but there's a lot more that people don't know about. You have all the after school like practices, you have to do a lot of tumbling, and it requires, leadership, and I mean it's really hard to go out there and try to cheer on the crowd, and keep everyone excited. So,
and I'm sure it's especially challenging when the team is down and it's your job to pump the crowd up and the team too.
Yes.
So, well, let me ask you this. You are a former cheerleader yourself, so can you remember a memorable time in your cheerleading experience?
Probably some of my favorite times were homecoming. That's always the best because they have all the seniors out and everything in the homecoming court, and that's always exciting, and most people go to those games. And
right.
Usually,
big crowds.
If you win that game, that's the best game of the season. So
that's right. And I just want to thank you, Alex, for coming and being on the show with us. When we're on the show next week, we'll be back with a regular cheerleading squad of the week, and we'll talk to them. And sometime later in the season, we'll work in Eagles Landing High School so that their cheerleading squad can be back on the show too. When we come back now in just a few minutes, we're going to have the Offensive Player of the Week and the Defensive Player of the Week right here on the High School Sports Highlight Show on Channel 22.